Hutto, the thing about this is I can't stand looking at our football club at the moment. So, yeah, the brightness is turned down and we're mourning today. It's our first official review of a game under this podcast name. And how are you
Yep,
feeling?
we'll get to that.
Nah. But it's been a fun time, Hutto. Obviously, we had a 90-point loss to Collingwood. Dan
Yeah,
Houston decided to pull down his old Port Adelaide shorts and rip us a new one.
that's probably the understatement of the century, I'd say, Anthony.
Yes,
That
Jack.
was, I was at the '07 grand final. I was at the game where we lost to Collingwood by 25 goals, I think it was, 138 points.
Chad's last game.
Yep. And still, like, you have your heartbreak, but that one was just completely demoralizing because the worst thing about it is it wasn't in the slightest bit surprising. And
Yeah.
it's it showed to me a long way of how far this football club has fallen from what its true beliefs are. We spoke last week, we did our predictions. I said top four and said we should be 4-1 or 5-0 by the time we hit round five. The reality is we should
Hmm.
be.
I
We
don't have
absolutely
reality.
should be. But we probably won't be. We'll probably be 2-3. I'd say, because as we've seen today, because we're recording on a Sunday, St Kilda don't know what they're doing by the looks of it. And realistically, we should beat Richmond, but we'll get to that game later. What just got to me? I'll start with the supporter base first. People just going, it's only round one. Oh, we were never going to beat Collingwood anyway. Where has this mentality come through? Like, why have we been suddenly brainwashed to think that this is acceptable? Like, to start a season, our only game at the venue of the AFL Grand Final, and think we can pull that shit out. Where do we think that's acceptable? Where do we think it's acceptable for just just find that to find that acceptable in the first place? I don't get it. Why is this mentality of it's not the coaching staff, it's not this, it's not that. It's everything. It's absolutely everything that is wrong right now. The list isn't good enough. Sure, the coach has been the same bloke for 13 years, and a large part of the fan base has been over it for a long time. Like, change is good. Embrace change. What are we doing with this succession plan? What are we doing? We're giving the bloke another year. Like, oh, here you go, Ken. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you. What? We haven't made a grand final. We haven't won a flag. We've wasted the end of Robbie Gray's career. We've wasted the end of Travis Boak's career. Wasted Westhoff. We had an amazing ruckman in Paddy Ryder for a very short period of time, and we just picked him off because in favour of Scott Lysette, who, quite frankly, and I love Scott Lysette as a footballer, he's not on the same level as Paddy Ryder. Never was. I just what this football club is, and I was listening to 5AA afterwards, and it was very cathartic, very cathartic. And I feel like I could tell that Timmy and Treaders wanted to absolutely just tee off.
Mm.
But let's get to the mannerisms post game. Ken Hinkley smiling, talking to Craig McRae after his team's been pulverised. What are you doing, man? Pack your bags. Just that's, and it's not the first time. It's probably about the 10th time that everyone's saying it. It's like, what are you doing? And a lot of our defensive group, like Siren's gone, okay, it's done and dusted. Smiling towards Dan Houston, like, hey, mate, long time no see. What? For people who have obviously supported Port Adelaide a long time, like, you got to enjoy the Magpies era, and now you've seen whatever the hell this shit is. But I enjoyed the early Power era. That's where I grew up. That's what I watched. I have an Epic Journey DVD. I still remember distinctly before we played Carlton, the chat around Nick Stevens returning and how it was a mafia-like mentality of you don't leave Port Adelaide. Why would you leave Port Adelaide? He wanted to go to Collingwood. We said, get stuffed. You're not going to a team we're contending with. Ends up at Carlton, and pretty sure he said years later he regretted leaving Port. Why are we the doormats of the competition? I know there's a difference in terms of player mental health and where they go, and like it's obviously a lot more of an understanding of player well-being these days. But what on earth are we doing? Let's strengthen the bloody Premier from 2 seasons back, who's contracted for another 2 or 3 years or whatever the hell he was. You sign the contract, you stay.
Do you know what the worst part about
Oh,
the whole thing
yeah.
is? We've become a surface level football club. There
Mm.
is no there's no depth to a list. There's no depth to our soul as a football club. There is nothing.
No,
It is all surface level. We can't go above knee height in water anymore
no,
because we have
no.
no idea what we're doing once we get a bit deeper, and it's
You know
ridiculous.
the interesting things that I saw over the weekend, because I missed footy that much. I think I watched all bar the Western Bulldogs North Melbourne game because it was on at the same time.
Mm.
What I saw from Brisbane, they adapted. When their forward line went down, they adapted. They didn't change their whole structure when Joe Danaher retired. They got a bloke to try and do the role. When that bloke couldn't do the role because he had, obviously, like Sam Day, his father passed away, they had Darcy Fort come in and do the role. And he did the role.
Mm.
Build the structure and we've changed the whole way we play this running handball stuff, which was very easy to cut off and say, oh, yeah, we'll be a lot better going inside 50. What I saw was the return of the hat, kick, and hope inside forward 50. What are we doing?
Yeah.
It's just bullshit. Like, so much messaging. Yeah, we're going to do this differently. We're going to do that differently. Rah, 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 rah. It's just crap. Everyone has
It,
seen through it for a long period of time. I just quickly covering off because I'm mid rant and I apologise, Ant. Over the years that Ken's been coach, why haven't we been able to properly develop a key position player? Or if we have, they've stagnated significantly.
or left.
Or left. Or we've just traded them out.
Yep.
Do you think Peter Laddam, do you think Jeremy Finlayson's an upgrade on Pete Laddams?
Nah.
No. What
It's just
what
replacing names.
what Pistol was doing, and like admittedly he has been not great at Sydney, but he loved Port Adelaide. He loved the football club. He didn't want to leave. We forced him out the door. Like
It's a
Dougal Howard,
cult.
yeah.
It's a
Dougal
cult.
Howard, yeah. Todd Marshall, like, I hope he does reach his potential because he can kick a football, but stagnated. He has stagnated. Key defenders. We brought in Radigalea, who was a forward and not the greatest forward. Otherwise, Geelong wouldn't have turned him into a defender and been happy to let him go. Good footballers don't leave the Geelong Football Club very often. Brendan Zirk-Thatcher wasn't one of ours again. Like, we've drafted 2 or 3 key defenders in recent years and they all got delisted. Jake Pizzini a few years ago was a key defender ready to come in. It was an emergency, got injured, out for the rest of the year. Didn't get another look in. Why can't we develop tall players? Even rucks. I fear
It,
for Ollie Lord and Dante Vicentini.
oh, yeah. Ollie Lord's gone. If you want to put the writing on the wall, I don't understand why he didn't play on Saturday night.
He needs to play. He
I don't
needs
understand.
to play. Because you know what he's good at, and this is what they put him at fullback in the sample a few years back. He got torched by Daniel Menzel, but what I noticed that it actually improved is his body work and how he attacks a contest. He would have been perfect for those crumbers to feed off. Georgiades is not a style crash and bash forward like Charlie Dixon was. Neither is Jack Lukosius, for the love of God. No, he's a leading forward. He's very similar style to Todd Marshall. We didn't have that. And why on earth are we rucking Ollie Wines? What is
Yeah,
that?
I knew that would happen.
Oh
As
my!
soon as Ollie Lord didn't play, we were going to have Ollie Wines ruck.
You either have Soldo or you have Lord, or
I'd
you have
rather,
what? Play Soldo down back, man. How
I'd
he
rather
attacks,
the double.
how he attacks it, how he attacks it is he attacks it like a defender. I'm pretty sure he played a bit defense there for Richmond. Ollie Lord, play him up forward. He's got to come in this week. Jeremy Finlayson, man, the efforts, the giving up, the I don't even know how to describe it, but I feel like everyone knew what was coming. The St Kilda preseason game covered up a lot in just some glossy, shitty wrapping paper that was just torn to shreds very quickly. Aaliyah could only do so much. Our midfield was just well beaten. We looked probably more distracted on Nick Dacos than anybody else. Tim Membry took the piss out of us after we said last week, yeah, his worst games are against Port Adelaide. Yeah, guess what? Not anymore. Excuse me, but my God, man. And we both love him. Why is the resolution to Zach Butters being injured a 37-year-old Travis Boak? What is that? Sorry for headphone users. Far out, man. But Jesus Christ.
It's amazing how, and this happens every time. It happens every time. We don't have someone that could step in and do the job. So what do? We put Trav in there. I've told it. I've said it many times.
You
Every
called it.
time
You did call it.
I said, if we need someone to stand up in a time where we are getting pushed, or in this instance, pulled our pants fucking down. Excuse the language, but this is how raw we're getting.
Yeah.
Um, well, we got to throw him in there. And what does he do? Does the does the goddamn job.
He did as well as he could with what was going on.
28 touches, a goal, which was good to see actually kick a goal rather than a point.
Yeah, that was a refreshing change that he started to goal. So good on you, Trav. I just, I don't, I just don't get it. We allowed ourselves to be a doormat, and I know the whole charade around it's like we will come out better from this Houston trade in the long run with Berry and Richards and Lukosius and what? Like, sure, maybe, but my God, Dan Houston took the absolute piss out of us. And we're lucky that the umpiring was borderline incompetent, otherwise he would have had his goal.
Yeah,
They
well,
called it back. So
the um the positive of that is I think Jordan Sweet's game was arguably one of his best.
he only did what he could do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really want to label anyone as a best. I saw one review, I think, on Facebook that had 8 players in there. I'm like, don't think you can do that. Like, I'd have 3 possibly in there max because I thought Farrell was quite good out of defence. I'd have Boak, Farrell, and Sweet. Probably stiff on Ollie Wines. But
What was Connor's game like?
there was a lot of hack and hope out of it, which sort of
Yeah.
hard to read because we all have high expectations to Connor Rosie. But also the other problem is all football teams that are sort of successful need an asshole. Like they generally need an asshole. Asshole equals success. For Collingwood, you probably say Braden Maynard is that.
Mm-hmm.
He kicked 2 goals, and that's what you know. What the Collingwood fans love him. Every other fan hates him, and he would love that. Brisbane, Dane Zorko.
They're all assholes. Toby Green is the Giants captain. Every
Clayton
team
Oliver,
has one. Yeah,
Bailey Fritsch, smug head, arrogance, confidence. You need that. We don't have that.
because we're a boys' club. We're soft leadership. It's
Yeah, we
it's
are.
right across the board as soft leadership, no matter what. And no one is. Everyone's afraid to call each other out.
I think mentally weak is
Yeah,
probably the best way to phrase our club right now. And
well,
realistically, it's not our football club. It's a shell of what our football club stands for.
it's a franchise. It's a brand.
Yeah. I would be very content if this Ken Hinkley farewell tour bullshit that gets paraded around ends tomorrow.
I'd be very happy with it.
It needs
But
needs to happen.
if it happens, and I don't want to play devil's advocate because I'm all for that to happen at any stage, but is it pretty scary now that we go into this succession plan starting as low as we have, and you know that the next person's already there?
I see. This is where the interesting part about listening to Double A. With Treaders, I'll trust him with what he says regarding Josh Carr, and he said, with all judgments to Carr, judge him when he's in the seat. Because at the end of the day, we'll still get his decisions.
Yeah.
Like, I think we've got a lot of assistant coaches coming out of contract at the end of this year too. So I think we're probably going to be well built around Kari. I'm hoping that's the case, but I don't know. I'm hopeful for Josh Carr because he's won a sample flag. He's won flags, and he is Port Adelaide. Like, he's a Port Adelaide person, and you know what? He wasn't. If we're just swearing on this pod,
Go for it.
he's a fucking tough footballer. That's what he was.
He's an asshole.
Yeah, he was. Absolutely. One of his last games against Brisbane, I'm pretty sure he pissed off Jared Brenner that much that he cut his eye open. And we won the game by about 40 points. Like, when we shouldn't have. 10-0 record in showdowns. Man, I'm excited for a personality like that to be in charge of our club because he knows he has what it takes. I'm looking forward to us being in the hands of Port Adelaide people. But for how this is going, and if this trend continues, anyone and everyone who has had a decision in Ken Hinkley's contract extension should not be involved at that football club any longer.
Starts from the top.
Starts from the top. Fish rots from the head.
Because it's the same piece of paper printed out every single day and put on someone's desk. You know, it's Groundhog Day. Stuck in a loop. It's the same shit.
The smiling of the players afterwards and the coach bewildered me. Absolutely bewildered me. Like,
it's almost like a party.
You do that shit behind closed doors. Surely. You see your mate afterwards. Like, as a supporter, some people have spent thousands upon thousands of dollars on tickets each year. You're going to go watch your team next week against probably the great underdog of the year, who probably had one of the greatest come from behind victories of all time on Thursday night. A team you could probably get around in terms of Richmond, because that was exciting to watch for anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you're going to watch us try and dish up that. If we lose to Richmond, I shudder to think what it's going to look like.
I think this is the problem with that, because every time last year,
always do it.
And every year, I think we've been challenged. Media throws shit at us, and what do? We'll come out the next week, put the wallpaper back on the wall, and cover up the cracks.
Pump some shit opposition.
Yep. They don't have Tom Lynch this week. They'll have, they have their first time travelling as a young side type of situation. Hostile crowd, and it will be hostile not because it's Richmond, but because we're hating our own people.
Yeah, we're very angry.
So yeah, It's funny though, because you just come out of last night and it's like you're still up. Somehow you're optimistic in a sense, because it's like this time is different. Every time we've done this sort of result or this performance, it's been middle of the year, late of the year, and we're like,
yeah, you go, it's a blip.
Yeah. Now it's round one, and it's like we still have 23 more rounds of this.
Yeah, you're wondering if that was the worst to come.
Like, are we just? You can't get any lower than this, so we just build from the ground up.
Absolutely can. Absolutely can. We lose this week, we're lower than that.
Oh yeah, and it's like a 40-point loss as well. Be like when we lost to them at Amy in the wet, or Gold Coast when we were 40 points up.
There needs to be at least 6 changes this week.
If Lockie Jones pulls on a Port Adelaide Guernsey in the next 10 games,
Yeah.
without any solid form. That man is the toughest, softest player, I think. He looks tough, plays soft.
Uh, just the mistakes were just always there. He's a crash and bash player. He's not the intercept mark. We saw that last year. We saw it at the start of last year. Why'd we go back to it?
Didn't mind him up forward before he got injured a couple of years ago, actually.
Maybe switch him in Pep. Actually, Jeremy Finlayson can't play this week. That's just not acceptable. Um, and they go, well, who comes in? Soldo. You bring in somebody.
Ryan Burton probably starts as well.
Perdo was serviceable coming in, but can't really judge much. He came into a team 80 points down.
Yeah. What do you
Uh,
make of Joe Berry, his first game?
hard to judge the kid, really. I thought he did a couple of nice things with his kicking looked good. I think he was all right.
That set shot in the second or first quarter was,
Mm,
I think, you talk about moments that do change momentum. And if you kick
yeah,
that, you maybe look at it and go, all right, well,
we were never in it. We were never doing
I don't know. And this is the thing, like with this game, you can't go, oh, moments here and there.
it.
We
Yeah,
were bashed and bruised from the start.
we were embarrassed. The football.
Oh, embarrassed is like the easy word, I reckon.
Yeah, and I just don't know how you can just smile and accept it afterwards. And that goes for the supporters too, and just go, oh, it's only round one. Nah, it's round one. Like you get smashed in the preseason, whatever. You get belted round one. Nah.
I think as well, what really tests us as supporters is the people that and we sit here and we're very vocal on our opinions and stuff, but like the people that really want this club to succeed, the people that are like surface level supporters, you got the people that don't want Ken. It's it's almost in parts. Everything's separated. There's no joint community. It's all like little groups at school.
It's all segregated at the moment, and
Yeah.
it's it's bad. It's really bad, and that's the club's own making.
Is this also um, sort of starting to evolve into us sort of doing a like they don't like using the word rebuild, but just continuously topping up, and eventually you'll find your way to the bottom. Is that what's happening?
I actually don't know what our strategy is at the moment. Well, you're one of the younger sides, have been for a while, but if I was Zach Butters, if I was Kane Farrell, if I was Miles Bergman, I wouldn't be sticking around.
Yeah, and that's a
Because
tough pill to swallow.
if we lose those three, man, I just like there was just another thing I've noticed as well. And I was watching, I think it was even the Crows earlier today. They
Yuck.
all understood what their role was in that side. I've seen our players do that much confused pointing. It's not funny. When we draft a footballer, we draft them for their obviously their attributes, but I'm sure there's a reason under their like what position they play too, and that's a speciality. I'm glad that we made Lukosius a permanent forward because that's where he was drafted. Poor old Jackson Mead has had 15 million different positions. I feel like he's more of an inside midfielder. I feel like that's where he flourishes. That's where I've seen him flourish Stanford wise. Play him there more often. I know older players, you got to get a bit more versatile and adapt to different roles, like we have seen with Trav with these wing roles or half forward. Just Ollie Wines in the ruck, man. Finlayson,
Ollie Wines,
Ollie Wines in the ruck.
Ollie Wines to me, and I think they tried this a couple of times last year, and I thought it worked. Him as a resting forward to combat that contest, he can take a good grab.
And he improved his goal kicking last
Yeah, and I'll sit here and I'll be like, you know what? They'll be like, people can't. Ollie Wines can't kick. He's no good at kicking. None of our freaking forward line can kick.
Mm.
regardless. So what's the risk? Try something different. And there'll be people that be like, "Oh, you're throwing the toys out of the cot after one game."
Yeah, absolutely we are. And so we should.
Absolutely.
Everyone should be pissed off after what we saw last night. I'm intrigued to see you'll be able to cut the tension at Adelaide Oval next week. Nice.
Yep. And I think
And
the worst part about it is walking into that game and the tension will be there while holding the scarves up.
yeah, I I just don't know. Let's actually move on to this.
Yeah.
No,
And
no
I'm
Tom
shit scared.
Lynch. Yeah, oh, absolutely so am I. No Tom Lynch, which that's beneficial because if it's Jackie Brzezinski that comes in, he's probably a bit more of a one-dimensional forward,
Yeah.
not
You call them
as
dimensional.
not as agile as Tom Lynch is, and not as much as a pain in the ass. There you go, another asshole.
And they structure up so much better with him in there. Like
Oh yeah, yeah, they
Tom
do.
Lynch is their focal point. But even still, like Harry Armstrong looked really good.
They all look
Um,
good. Layla, or Lawler rather, Jerry the King.
uh,
He looked really good. Like they were so fun to watch.
I loved it. Like and this is the thing going into this week is it's actually like sort of exciting in a way because we get to see this team and you kind of hope for a good contest. If I'm honest,
I want us to pull their pants down, self, but
I
um,
think, but it gives you a reason to be like, if we do, then I think there's a little bit more justification towards pumping Richmond.
mm,
And the fact of the matter is, we managed to overtake Carlton as the laughing stock of round one. So,
yes, we did. That was a great result. Fantastic.
and we were all happy about it. So that's fantastic too. But yeah, no, I mean, is what is it? Saturday, 3:45 this weekend. There's a lot to fix in six
There's a lot.
days.
There's a lot to fix. I'm just trying to think of changes that I'd make, and oh, there's a lot. Radaglia comes in, depending how he
Yep.
went today, the trial match with the sample.
Yep.
Uh, um, you have to bring him in. Finlayson out. That's just straight out. No worries. Burton starts. Jones out. Soldo in. Just trying to work out who the hell I would take out for that.
Would you do solo or would you bring Ollie Lord instead?
It's a tough one. I'd bring in both some way.
And then we go to, I mean, conditions favour us. 30 degrees on Saturday, which means you can go taller. And if you're clean, if you want to do your hat kicks, there's no better day to do it.
Yep. Um,
Um,
I, I'd I'd love to see Lorenz in my wing.
what would you make of Josh Sin doing that role?
The fact he was smiling after the siren just made me really pissed off. Um, so he shouldn't be on the wing. He shouldn't be on the wing. He should be at halfback. Jace Burgoyne should be on the wing. No, hang on. Well, I can't remember which way we had it around in the semi-final. Wherever Burgoyne was in the semi-final, which I'm pretty sure was
Halfback.
halfback, leave him there. Sin, I don't know. He's another one who could leave at the end of the season too.
It wouldn't be the worst thing.
Yeah, he can kick, but I need to see more. I need to see more from everybody. Like, there's Rory Atkins coming in this week. It was an emergency.
No, no. If I see that man play an AFL game with the amount of turnovers I've seen across the whole preseason, I don't care what kind of form he's in. He will not make any difference to any change we make.
That's a very brutal assessment. Got that.
I'm sorry, but like from what I've seen as a person that's watched preseason, as
Mm.
what I've seen when he played the Saints, when he did work against the Crows and in the internal, even in the warm up exercises they were doing in drills pre the internal trial, the man didn't hit a target.
Right. Okay. That's something you saw at the ground. Fair enough.
But I mean, he positives for that is he probably brings experience compared to your Logan Evans, Josh Sin, and everything like that. But especially going this week, where if you want to get these blokes with games in their legs and actually give them a chance at their roles, then I wouldn't be making that change.
Fair enough. I the biggest thing as well when Ken took over, he was no golden tickets. Everyone sort of got a chance that season. Pretty sure we played most of the list in 2013.
Lewis Stevenson, Campbell Heath.
Yeah, apart from our good friend Brendan Archie, who couldn't get a game, poor bloke.
Poor bastard.
But he say he was at the he was at the bottom of the reserves in the sample, so he had a bit of a way to go.
I
That
think
was
he'd get
his
instant
words.
selection now with his coin story.
Yeah, but like Nathan Blee, I think he got a game. Like Daniel Stewart, Matt Thomas,
That
Aaron
was
Young.
under Hocking though. That was
No, that was 2013.
Nathan Blee played in 2013.
2013, he played the game at Cardinia Park. He played
Oh,
two
the one
games.
where Monfils kicked 7.
Yeah, yeah. And then he played the games Gold Coast the week after. But he only had his last game was a win, so that was nice for him.
Yeah,
But
nice.
yeah, so he did play under Hocking as well. But like opportunities like that, like everyone had a crack. If everyone's watching this on stream, you can just see me nerding out on AFL tables right now. But
What else
like
is new?
Redden, Renouf, yeah, Daniel Stewart, everyone got a crack.
Yeah,
Like
but I
you know,
don't want to succumb to. I know you say no golden tickets, but the influx of changes after I know a 90-point loss probably dictates that to happen, but
you got to send a message to this complacent team though.
I know, but it's yeah.
You bring in some spark. You let someone have an opportunity and actually take that position by the scruff of the neck.
If you're going to do it, then bring in um, Christian Moraes.
Lorenz, I want him in. I want Will Lorenz to be playing.
Yeah, I
But
think.
yeah, I don't know. Man. I just I'm beyond the point of knowing. But I'd like to see a lot of changes. A lot of people who were lazy, who were smiling post siren, dropped. And remember the football club you play for, because realistically, we're a shadow. And if we're playing like this, I don't want to see us run the prison bars in the showdown.
You have 8 rounds to fix it.
Because that would be masquerading around the corpse of the shell of what was a great football
It's. I mean, we said this the other. Um, we saw this, sorry, the couple of years ago when we came out what for the first time, home showdown,
club.
lost
Yeah,
to the Crows. Like
yep.
it's
It was generally the week after we got pummeled by Collingwood as well.
parading. We're a parading football club. Well, we do
Mm,
this great stuff. We do this great stuff. We don't do fucking great stuff on the field, Huddo.
not right now, no.
And when we do, the paintbrush is always a bit split.
Yeah. I just want to see some fucking fight this week.
Also,
That's all.
want to take off the KFC logo at the top of the number because
You found the
that's
weirdest, smallest issue out of all of
yeah,
that.
I know, but it looks weird. Why? Anyway, that's
To be
just
fair, Collingwood had Emirates on the front and back on the top, so we can get away with it. But
I know, but it's still it might look better on the black ends. Who knows?
yeah, well, we Kentucky Fried fucked last week, so let's hope we're a bit better this week.
KFF.
Pretty much. I don't think there's anything else to add. We're gonna do tips.
I don't even be bothered doing tips, to be honest, Tutto.
Richmond by 17 points.
Port by 2.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Port by 2. And
Yeah.
I would love just for a moment in time to feel good about it.
Yeah, I'm not going to feel good about it unless we fix our percentage by the end of the weekend.
Come out and win by 90 points. I mean, that breaks us even effectively.
No, if it's 90 and not 91, like the margin, I'll be pissed.
92.
92, satisfied. Just,
Well, I hope so then.
mm, I hope you've enjoyed our rant, supporters, because I'm sure the comments on last week's episode were quite funny about how absolutely how delulu we were in the end. But
Yeah, Ken's last dance is looking really good, isn't it?
I'll plead the fifth on that one, mate.
And well, I'm bleeding from my fifth, so it's fine at this point.
Yeah, no, you got grilled. You got properly grilled.
All right, it's fine. It's all good. We'll
I
bounce
won't,
back.
I
We'll do it.
won't say it was warranted, but
No, it was definitely not warranted. Although, come on, it was a great piece of architecture.
not you posting 10 minutes before the game about first stop on Ken's farewell tour.
Oh, that was me. That was me absolutely milking the
You
shit out of
were
it.
out with a fishing rod, and I
Yeah,
wanted to punch you in the face.
I
Oh,
loved it.
of course you did. You're a knob.
I'm a knob.
Uh,
So are the 23 blokes that took the field last week, and the coach smiling. So turn it around, boys.
yeah, well,
Otherwise,
see you next week when we are hopefully holding the Matt White Cup. And Travis won the Mitch Farmer medal with 45 touches.
Trav has 45 touches. I will have a lot of fun next week.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't finish that sentence in public. All right. See you
uh,
all next week.
Pleasure as always. Have fun. Go to power.